I'm starting to figure out a lot of people, they're just not tired yet. Y'all, they're not tired. They're not tired of making excuses for what's going on with the narcissist. They're not tired of being weighed down and feeling sad all the time. They're not tired of having all these different emotions and wondering why they can't get their head above water and why they can't take care of themselves properly, why they're not healing, why things aren't going right for them. I don't know what people think narcissists are in their life for in the first place. And I've always said in past videos, but I've seen it's starting to feel like, y'all, if you know, you know. But it's really starting to feel like I'm just not getting my point across with a lot of people. You have to be so sure about yourself. You have to be so in tune with who you are. You have to know what you are, whose you are, right? And what you want to do with your life. The type of things that you expect to happen for you. You have to want it for yourself in order to know what's good for you to let go of these narcissists. I've always said that once you know you got to move around, you got to go. I seem to cannot figure out how people just try to hold on to something that's not good for them. You know it's not good for you. You figured it all out, right? But you still choose to stay. Not to mention those of you who know exactly what is happening. You've known for some time. Not that you can't get out, you won't get out. And you think it's going to get better. You've actually made yourself, you've told yourself, when I tell y'all, as I tell y'all, and I'm going to always say this, the worst lies you can tell are the ones you tell yourself. Forget everybody else. Let's talk about the ones you tell yourself. If you're lying to yourself, you aren't any good to anybody else. And the worst lies you can tell are the ones you tell yourself. That it's going to get better. The narcissist is going to change. They're not having a good day today. They must not be feeling well. They never act like this. They must be going through something. There has to be a reason why they're talking to me this way, why they're treating me this way, why I keep catching them in lies. There has to be a reason, right? Not that this is their character and who they are, but we just want to keep making excuses for the deviant. I'm trying to make it make sense. Maybe somebody can help me make it make sense because I can't make it make sense on my end. I've told y'all time and time again, the worst thing you can do is make excuses for the behavior that the narcissist is showing you and keeps showing you. When a person shows you who they are, you believe them the first time. When it shows you who it is, right? Believe it the first time. Some of y'all just have to do better. Y'all know how many stories I get people telling me they don't want to be by themselves. They don't want to be alone. They have anxiety separation. They're used to being with somebody. I just had to pause for a second, y'all, when I say that. They're used to being with somebody. I don't think that we understand the severity of what narcissistic abuse does to you the longer you stay. That's any bad habit, any addiction, anything that you do for too long. It's harder to leave alone. Once you have figured out that you're dealing with something like of this nature, you walk away. You do everything humanly possible to get away. And no, sometimes it can't happen all at once. No, sometimes you don't have the funds or the means to get away. No, sometimes you can't just up and move around. Sometimes it's not that easy. But I can tell you one thing. You don't just sit around and do nothing. You see, because the narcissist never stops plotting on how they're going to tear you down. You see, the narcissist's brain, what brain they do have, right? This corrupt mindset that they have, it never stops plotting on what they're going to do to you. You see, while you're doing all these things and making all these excuses for them. The whole entire time, they're plotting on how to, get rid of you, trash your life, how to destroy you, how to keep you under their spell. And you know what I find is really, really crazy about all of this? You already know that they don't want anything good for you, right? You've already done your research. You figured out they only want to use, abuse, and take away from you. And this is what you're choosing for yourself. Y'all don't know how many times I see this, how often I see this. Y'all, I talk to people every day, right? Or let's just say just about every day. Every day, I should say just about, right? Who have figured out from talking to me that they are in a relationship with a narcissist. They figured it out. They know that they are with a narcissist. They've talked to me. They've told me all the symptoms of what's happening in their relationship, what's going on in their life, how long it's been happening, how this person isn't changing, how it's getting worse, how all these bad things are happening to them. And I have strictly told them. Because remember, we don't want to make everybody a narcissist because everybody is not a narcissist. So we don't want to blame narcissism on everybody. We want to see what's going on first, right? We want to see if this is just something that they do, or is it a pattern of the same behavior? You guys, listen, I talk to these people, and we've come to a conclusion that this is a pattern of behaviors. I'm talking about people, y'all, who cry all the time, who are hurt, who've gone through so much and still going through it. We've already determined that they're dealing with a narcissist, and they will not, when I tell you will not, walk away. It's sad to watch. It's sad to watch. It is. It's hard to watch. It's sad to watch. It's hard to listen to. Y'all, a lot of times I have no words. I just shake my head. Sometimes, y'all, I just have no words. Y'all, sometimes it's so draining listening to it. I just stop listening. I just get away from the situation for a while, not talk to the person for a while, and just breathe. Because it's really sad to watch. It's hard to listen to. And sometimes it's very draining. And not because they're dealing with a narcissist and it's just really hard to hear. Because they're dealing with a narcissist. It's hard to hear. And they won't budge. They won't go anywhere. They still want to stick around. They still believe that there is something about this individual that can change and things can get better. Even though I've been hearing the same story for over a year. Maybe longer. And it's sad, y'all. It's sad. But people are not that, I want to say that they're not as weak as they think that they are. Because all you have to do is realize this is what you get and move around. All you have to do is see it for what it is and say, you know what? Yeah, I can pretty much see that this is what's going to be happening in this relationship. Yeah, this is not a relationship, it's a situationship. This is what you're going to continue to do to me. I realize this is who you are. It's your character. It's in your DNA. And yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get out of this mess while I still can. Y'all, they don't do this. They won't do this. They don't do it and they won't do it. And it's sad, y'all. It's sad. It is. But you can't make people do anything that they don't want to. All you can do is talk. Sometimes be a shoulder to cry on. Be a listening ear. Give as much advice and help as you possibly can. But a lot of times, y'all, some of these people, they just don't want to. And it's really, really sad, y'all. It's really sad. But I need for y'all to understand that the narcissist has no good intentions for you. They never have. From day one when they first met you, it was never anything good that was going to come out of it. It was never any good intentions. You see, the plan for a narcissist is to ruin you, ruin everything about you. To make sure they damage you beyond repair. To make sure you feel like if you ever have the chance to walk away from them, that nobody else will want you. That you'll never be able to love or care for anybody else the way you did with them. And that's a lot of things. Let me talk to y'all for a second. That's a lot of times where people let the narcissist win. I read it a lot on YouTube. I see it a lot on a lot of my comments that I've read, where people don't want to be in relationships anymore. They don't want to love anymore. They don't want to be involved with anybody anymore. As I understand a lot of where y'all are coming from, because only a person who's been with a narcissist would understand why their responses are the way that they are. But let me just say this. Never ever go through life feeling like you can't be with anybody else because of what you've gone through with a narcissist. I can understand the break, right? Getting yourself together, wanting to heal, taking care of yourself, making sure you're good, you're okay, that your sanity is in line where it needs to be, getting back to you but the best version of you, right? Applying the lesson that you've learned to your future to make sure the same things doesn't happen to you again. I get all of that. But never put yourself in a situation where you feel like you'll never ever do something again because you've been with a narcissist, because that's exactly what they want. That's exactly how they want you to feel. That there's certain things you won't ever be able to do again because of what they've done to you. That's exactly what they want. For you to be miserable the rest of your life. And y'all, listen, believe it or not, a lot of people let the narcissist win when it comes down to this. They never want to be in anything else because of what they've gone through. I'm just saying. Y'all be very careful when you start making decisions about what you do, because the tongue is powerful. Words have a lot of power. Watch what you say. Watch what you speak over your life. Watch saying things like what you never ever want again, or what you don't want to do again, or what type of things that you'll never do again. Be careful of the things you speak over your life. And I know it seems like we're living in an era where narcissists are everywhere, right? And they are. And they are. And they are. But we just have to understand that everyone is not a narcissist. There's still lots of great people out there. And y'all listen, don't jump all over me, because guess what? I do understand when I hear people say what they never want to do again because all that they've been through. I totally understand that, y'all. I get it. I understand. I've been there, so I know, y'all. I know how it makes you feel. I get it. I get it. I get it. But watch the things that you speak over your life, because the very things that you say about yourself, what you speak over your life, all these things can play out in your life. Because you see, once you heal, once you do the work and take care of yourself, y'all, I just had somebody recently tell me, why do I have to do the work? Why me? Why do I have to fix these things in my life? Why is it that I have to go do all this stuff and I didn't do anything wrong? And y'all, it's sad to hear again, but I have to explain to this individual. Here's the thing. Being with a narcissist is the only kind of situationship in your life that you're going to, and or toxic person. Being with these kind of individuals is the only situationship in life where you have to fix yourself because of what they did to you. I didn't know how else to put it. That's the truth. These are the only types of situationships where you have to go work on yourself after dealing with these kind of individuals. And it's sad, but it's true. You see, because narcissists don't work on anything. They don't do any work because there's nothing wrong with them, right? You see, they don't change anything but the people that they get involved with. Nothing else about a narcissist changes. They don't think there's anything wrong with them. This is how they really feel. They actually get upset when you find out who they are. Yeah, they get upset when you figure it out. When you figure out that you're being abused and you're being misused and you're being lied to and cheated on, when you find out all these things, it angers a narcissist. Because see, to them you're just an object to be used and abused. So you just supply for the narcissist, nothing else. So when you figure all these things out, you crash everything for the narcissist. Now they have to move on to someone who's green, who doesn't know who they are. And narcissists hate losing supply, because even though they move on, even though they're always in search for new supply, they still want to have you as a backup plan. They still want you somewhere in the back waiting for them. They still want to have you somewhere pining for them. They still want to make sure they can come into your life. You have a revolving door when it comes to you, right? They can just come and go as they please. They don't want you, and they don't want anybody else to want you either. See, they're always on the prowl for something new. But they want to make sure they can keep coming in and out of your life as they please. That you'll be there at will when they want you to be there. That you're never going to go anywhere. You see, that's what they want. Narcissistic abuse, y'all have no idea. Or maybe you do. If you've been with a narcissist, if you know, you know. A lot of times, y'all, people are so angry that they even dealt with, that they were fooled, that they've been through this, that something like this actually, they didn't know about it. People get so angry, y'all, that they didn't know, that they were fooled, that this went right over their head, that they actually let a narcissist in their life. They feel that they'll never be the same, and that's not true. Because you can heal, and you can be better. You can actually be better. You guys, this is how it is. And it's not easy, but we have to understand that, you know, the work has to come from you. You have to do the work. What they did to you, yeah, you have to work on yourself. And people don't, a lot of people, y'all, lots of people don't see it the way that, it took me a while to get where I'm at to see it the way that I'm seeing it as well, right? Because I was like, there's no way. There's no way. I can't believe we're sharing the planet with something like this. Are you serious? Like, this is real? But it is. But it is real. And they're everywhere, including your family. And as much as we want to ignore it and act like it's not happening, it is. As much as we want to unsee it, we can't. And you can avoid it all you want to, but narcissists are everywhere. You're going to always run into a narcissist. And this is why it's good to be able to spot this behavior, spot these individuals, heal like you should. That way you can have discernment and understand who and what you're dealing with. Because guess what? You're going to keep running into this individual and a whole different person each and every time if you don't do what needs to be done to take care of yourself, to actually heal from what you're going through. The work has to be done. It just has to be. It doesn't just go away. I'm just saying. Y'all, listen. At first I used to be like, it's unreal. This isn't real. This can't be true. This isn't life. This isn't happening. It took a long time for me to get this, because I was in denial for so long. It took a long time for me to come to a conclusion like, okay, this is really happening. Like, this is real. Like, what the heck is really going on? But y'all, it is. It's real. It's very real. It's happening. And it's so important. I can't stress enough. It's so important to work on yourself. Because if you don't, you will keep running into the same kind of behavior over and over. And different people. And you won't be able to spot it. And if you let the anger and the things that you've been through, right, anger you and get in the way of you learning and healing yourself, you're going to keep having the same issue. This is why it's so important to do the work, to actually heal, so you can get past what you've been through. Because if you don't, and you let this linger, and you stay angry, and you get vengeful with a narcissist, and you don't do what needs to be done to take care of yourself, your anger will outweigh your healing process. And before you know it, you'll be entangled with another narcissist. And it may not be romantically, but you'll definitely have another narcissist in your life some kind of way. From being bitter and angry. And it'll outweigh what you should be doing to get out of that mode so you can heal properly. That's where you can spot a narcissist a mile away. And you won't ever let a narcissist get this close to you again. I'm just saying. You guys listen, I just want to come on here and talk to y'all a little bit. Because I'm seeing that it's never ending. With the narcissist, y'all, it's never ending. It's a process. And if y'all are paying attention, no matter how much we talk about this, how many videos we make, how many videos you watch, how many creators are talking about this, it's getting worse, y'all. It is getting worse. But you guys, listen, that's it for this video, all right? That's it for this video. Take time out to like, comment, share, subscribe. Turn on your bell so you will know when I'm coming through with another video. Until next time.